On my recent trip to South Korea, I was able to explore the Seokguram Grotto, one of the better-known cultural sites in the country. South Korea is home to many temples, fortresses, and ancient sites, though this one I found to be unique among them. The grotto is noted for housing a well-preserved Buddha statue, considered to be a masterpiece of East Asian Buddhist art. The Seokguram Grotto is an artificial Buddhist cave temple nestled on the slopes of the Tohamsan mountain in the southeast of the country. Located near Gyengju city, the historic capital of the Silla dynasty, the grotto was commissioned around 742 AD by Kim Daesong, a chief minister of the Silla, one of the three kingdoms of ancient Korea. The site is also part of the nearby Bulguksa Temple complex, an important Buddhist site during the period. The grotto was constructed with the use of more than 360 granite slabs quarried locally on the same mountain. Large granite slabs and blocks were stacked to build the outer walls and into a dome, which was then covered by earth to create a mound-like structure. The abundance of hard granite in the Korean peninsula made this the stone of choice for many Korean temple sites. The entrance of the grotto has a constructed wooden facade where visitors can view the interior of the cave and leave offerings. The wooden structure built in front of the antechamber is debated by historians who argue that it is likely not part of the original plan, as it blocks the view of the sunrise and impedes ventilation. A glass partition was installed years ago at the beginning of the tunnel, which prevents tourists from continuing further into the site and aids in temperature regulation. The layout as viewed from the partition is composed of the entrance tunnel leading to a rectangular antechamber decorated with a total of 41 figure carvings and sculptures. The chamber then leads to a vestibule framed with two octagonal columns marking the entrance to the circular inner chamber. The main rotunda enshrines an 11-foot or 3.5-meter statue of the Buddha facing east overlooking the Sea of Japan. It is assessed this was to offer some sort of protection against invaders across the East Sea, primarily from Japanese raiders who were active during this time period. The statue originally had a coat of red paint, though time and weathering has left only traces. The grotto was built over a stream, and shafts were made in the ceiling to provide natural ventilation, reducing humidity and protecting the artwork within. The exterior construction of the grotto is reminiscent of burial mounds and tombs from the Three Kingdoms period found throughout the Korean peninsula. Many well-preserved examples of these tombs exist today and are actively excavated and catalogued. Periods of abandonment and neglect led to deterioration of the site, which prompted several restoration and reconstruction efforts over the centuries. The earliest record of this was in the early 1700s during the Joseon dynasty. Issues of working on the remote mountain, humidity, and the uncertainty of the original layout were persistent obstacles. During the Japanese occupation of Korea, several reconstruction efforts took place from 1913 to about 1927. The repairs were conducted without sufficient knowledge of the structural integrity or the original layout. This resulted in the nearly full dismantling and reassembly of the interior stones. Some of the remains of the original construction can be found a short distance away from the cave entrance, and were likely discarded by the Japanese. During this time, 2 of the interior statues went missing and are alleged to have been looted. Major water leaks and erosion became a problem, and eventually it was decided to encase the interior with concrete. This only led to more issues with humidity and mold growth, further damaging the carvings. In the 1960s, another effort to restore the site was headed by the South Korean government and resolved the issues with modern ventilation systems. Though it is a fair distance from the capital of Seoul, the Seokguram Grotto is certainly a site worth visiting. The nearby city of Gyengju also has many ancient and historic sites to explore, which I will be covering in future videos.